my name is HW, and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. It's sort of become the custom on the channel to take a closer look at the latest profile pack, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. This is the 62 Prince-Tone pack from Tone Junkie. This is these are profiles seeking to capture a very classic circuit and one of my favorite all-time circuits. In fact, this is an amp I'm not sure I'm ever really going to let go because it's low wattage, it's not really too loud for the house, and it just sounds mega when it's in stereo with like another small little amp like this. It's an original Oxford 10 speaker. I don't even know what they call these models. They're just 10-inch Oxfords. They didn't really have models back then, I don't think. And it just sounds heavenly. Now, we gave some variation in the pack, but the core tone here, what I love is this amp truly, I know we always describe brown face amps as being somewhere between Blackface and a tweed, but if you actually look at the circuit of this amplifier, this 6G3, I think it's called a 6G2 circuit, it actually really is kind of like between a deluxe 5E3 and a later Blackface, because it becomes it's a split phase inverter design, and it also gets away from the single-ended design and goes to a fixed cathode bias amplifier here. So you really are getting really kind of it really is almost a halfway point between a deluxe, like a 5E3, and the later Blackface stuff. But this is the Princeton amp. It's not the deluxe amp. It's a single channel, and we tried to give you some profiles that would simulate a bright channel, but more on that in a minute. First of all, I'm playing this JM Pro, and it's got Sir S90 pickups. These are a little on the hotter side of what you might see if you compare this to like a Lindy Fralin P90. It's going to be a little easier on the input here, but no matter. Here is B2, and I'm actually playing the brighter profiles here. Here's what we did. We profiled the amp with the single tone knob, because all you get is volume and tone. We profiled the tone knob on 4 and did all those as the normal profiles. Then we thought, what if it had a bright channel? What would that sound like? I've got a deluxe sitting in this room also, a 62 Deluxe, and it has a bright channel. What would the Princeton have sounded like if they had put in a bright channel? Well, I thought maybe it would sound something like if we rolled that tone up to 7. Be aware, it can get a little bright when the tone's up to 7 when you're using brighter guitars or when you start to get distorted. But if you have a very full, beefy sounding guitar, maybe like that hollow body behind me there. I have another 335 style guitar somewhere around here. But some of those neck tones that you get from like a PAF output pickup, those ones that are going to be really dark, and we'll try out like a Les Paul type thing in a minute. Those are going to be where I think the bright channel shines, but it also really works wonders if I just want to use the neck of like a little brighter sounding guitar, and so these P90s are really nice to do that with. Here is the B2 profile. This is 62 Prince-Tone B2, and you can see with my pick attack, it's going to be nice and bright. It's going to be pretty almost strident. Check that out. It's beautiful, but that's with the hard pick, right? This is a pretty hard, like almost a 1.0, like a 1 millimeter. But when I just use my fingers, that's when we pull back and those bright tones really warm up a little bit with like the fleshy sound of the fingers. You know what I mean? Check that out. That's beautiful. Let's go to the middle. This is where it's really going to get bright, and this is where we almost get something that could be a little too strident, and we might go back to the non-bright profiles. is pretty nice. On the bridge, of course, it's almost like you know, telly-ish kind of thing, and you can hear some of that snap and that clarity, that twang, you know. It has that real snappy kind of quality. Now, I'm going to take it back. We're going to get off this B2 profile for a minute, and we're going to go to just the regular 2 profile, the Prince-Tone 2. And this is with the amp on a more neutral setting, 4, but it still has a bright American kind of sound to it. With the neck, it sounds like this. There I really like it. It almost has that, you really can, if you were comparing this to some other profiles that we've made, maybe the 63 Tremolux, you really can hear the character of that 10-inch speaker. This is one of my favorite profiles in the whole pack, Prince-Tone 3. This to me is where the amp kind of shines, because with something like a Strat, it's going to stay clean here. But with P90s or a humbucker guitar, it's just going to open up and really give you some of the goods. Here's on the bridge. On the neck. You can hear how when I dig in there, it really gets going. But when I back off, especially if I'm just on my fingers, you know, if that doesn't sound like a little cranked American amp, I don't know what does. What I love about this circuit is it just gets, it's like cleanish, it's beautiful. And then it's nasty. It's so, someone put this on Facebook. My friend Dan put this on Facebook. He put, "It is so American flag emoji." And when I hit these low bass notes, it is so American, you know? That little 10-inch speaker has a really nice, tight, round bass. That's a beautiful sound. Now, if we really get it going, here's 4, and here's 4 plus with a clone. And it's pretty snarly. I mean, it's pretty going, you know? Now, if that's a little too like high-end sizzle, because there is a nice little high-end sizzle on this 10-inch speaker, that's where you could bring down maybe some of that presence. You can also cab shift just very slightly, shift a little bit of that high shift it down. I'm going to go 0.5 and see if we haven't cleaned up a little bit of that high sizzle in case that's not what you're looking for. That high sizzle is something that's going to come through with like kind of sizzly pickups, and this is a pickup that can get a little bit sizzly sometimes. Yeah, I mean, that'll do, pig. That'll do. That's what they say, isn't it? We did something else too. We profiled this thing with gold, Celestion Gold, Celestion Gold 212. Now, immediately when you hear this, you're going to go, HW, doesn't that sound a lot darker? And in a way, it kind of can, but it actually has a good amount of chime. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, if you want a little more presence, a little more high-end sparkle, you put that with a Strat though, and it just sounds heavenly. In fact, why don't we do that? Let's show this up. This gold I really dialed in for like a Stratty sound in case that 10-inch speaker was getting a little too sizzly for some guitars. The golds give you a nice chime. It's like another type of brightness. Not as much sizzle, a little more 4K, 2K push kind of thing. Let's go to the Strat. There we go, man. I mean, that is chimey. It's sparkly. I could put that on a number 2 position. And that's really cool to me. You could roll up the definition and really get some brightness coming through. I'm going to roll that definition from 5 up to like 6.5, and I'm going to put the presence and treble up, and of course you're going to get even more of that thing. That's a cool sound. Aha, HW, you know, whenever you're doing these things, I feel like you never take out the Les Paul. You never show us really what it's going to sound like with, like, you know, a 2 humbucker dealie, and we just want to see that. No problem. That's with golds. I would use that. Here's it on the bridge, and I'll go to 3+, and I'll brighten that up just slightly and see, so we get a little extra chime out of it. Not bad at all. Let me go back to that 10-inch speaker that's on these Prince, not the Prince Gold, but the Prince-Tone. Let's go back to number 2, because this is where these pickups are going to push this just a little bit. You're going to get a little bit of that broken clean sound, and it's going to sound like this. That's some beautiful sustain right there. Of course, I can go to the middle and brighten it up a bit. And on the bridge, it's going to just break a little bit. That's really cool, and let me jump up here to, let's see, Prince-Tone 4. We jump to the middle. And going to B2. Let's go to B2 because I really like these bright ones for the neck of a guitar like this. It's a beautiful tone. It's round, it's bright, it's lovely. Are you just now noticing that I have a toaster that looks like a Kemper? I saw it on Amazon. I had to have it. There's nothing more to the story than that. My name's HW. This has been a closer look at the 62 Prince-Tone pack from Tone Junkie. It's a really beautiful amp. It's not like many other amps. It's snarly, it's nasty, it gets a little bit sizzly sometimes, and to me that's what makes it beautiful. That is what makes it sound unique and old school and small, you know, without sounding small. It sounds focused. You can hear it's that 10-inch speaker. You can hear it's that old thing. You can hear it wasn't super high fidelity. You get some of that lo-fi tweedy characteristic, but you get some of those nice chimey highs. It's snappy. It's brilliant. It's like a little yappy dog in the most best way possible. I mean, and it just can sound beautiful with just the touch of your guitar, you know? HW out.